When the sky goes dark at midday, it's not just the sun that hides, truths buried deep begin to rise. This isn't just another space event, this is a cosmic alarm clock, and it's ringing. Loud. Most people, they're asleep, scrolling, distracted, unaware that on March 29th, the sky will open up and deliver a message only the awake will hear. The last eclipse? Everyone was posting, talking, pointing phones at the sky, but this one? It's slipping through the cracks, silent, invisible. And that's exactly what makes it dangerous. This isn't just an eclipse. This is a turning point. Think of it like a snake in tall grass, quiet, patient, and striking when you least expect it. If you're not ready, it might just catch you off guard in ways you never saw coming. Now, before we dive into what's really unfolding here, do this one thing. Hit like, subscribe, and drop the number 77 in the comments. That's how I know you're one of the few who gets it. Someone who's paying attention. And it helps push this message to those who need to hear it before it's too late. Because what's coming isn't just rare, it's transformative. Let's start with the truth. We're being pulled into a new chapter. The energy of this eclipse is already at work, like an invisible tide dragging your subconscious towards something big. You might have noticed it, feeling restless, uneasy, thinking the same thought on loop. That's not random. That's a signal. This is the second eclipse in a single month. That doesn't just happen. It's not just science, it's synchronicity. Like two knocks at your door. The first one got your attention. This one? It's here to tell you something must change. Something you've been avoiding. A lunar eclipse asks you to let go. A solar eclipse demands rebirth. This is not the time to scroll past or wait until the news covers it. This is the moment to prepare. Spiritually, emotionally, even physically. There are 8 key things you need to do before the eclipse hits. And trust me, you don't want to realize you missed them after it's too late. Because this eclipse isn't just about the sky going dark. It's about what it reveals when the light returns. Imagine standing on a frozen lake and you suddenly hear a crack. You can't see the break yet, but it's there, beneath you, growing. That's where we are now. The pressure has been building all month. This eclipse is the crack, and after it, nothing will look the same. For the ones who are in tune, this is your chance to rise, to align, to get ahead of the wave before it crashes. But you have to act now, not tomorrow, not next week. Because while others are sleepwalking, you'll be moving with intention. The world is shifting. Energies are rearranging, and the next few days are going to separate the reactive from the ready. So stay with me, because in just a moment, I'm going to walk you through the 8 critical things you absolutely must do before the March 29th eclipse. And if you think this energy is intense now, you haven't seen anything yet. Number 1, don't manifest. If you hear nothing else in this entire message, hear this. Do not try to manifest during this eclipse. I know. Everyone on your feed is talking about harnessing the moon and setting intentions. And under a regular new moon? Sure, go for it. But a solar eclipse? That's not a new moon. That's a blackout. Think of it like this. You wouldn't try to paint a masterpiece in the middle of a storm. You wouldn't pour your soul into a letter during an earthquake. So why on earth would you try to program your future while the cosmic energy is in full distortion mode? Eclipses are wild cards. They're known across cultures as moments of karmic reckoning, portals that disrupt timelines, unearth buried truths, and fast-forward your life in unexpected directions. They don't bring the calm, gentle pull of a typical moon phase. They bring upheaval. Manifestation is about intention, about directing energy. But eclipses, they flip the script. What you send out may come back twisted, distorted, even reversed. You're not manifesting on solid ground. You're doing it on shifting sand. What you're trying to call in could end up tangled in chaos, like planting seeds during a hurricane and hoping for roses. Let me put it another way. Imagine you're tuning a radio. Normally, with the right frequency, you hear a clear message. But during an eclipse, it's all static. Every intention you send out is like trying to speak your desires through a megaphone that's short-circuiting. The message gets scrambled, and what comes back might not be what you asked for. It might not even be safe. And here's the deeper truth. Eclipses already know what's coming. They don't need your input. They're not asking for your vision board or your affirmations. They're delivering what's meant to happen, whether you're ready or not. Trying to manifest now is like arguing with fate while it's already in motion. This is not a time to demand. It's a time to surrender, to observe, to release. The best thing you can do right now is protect your energy. Stay quiet, reflect, cleanse, rest, let the storm pass. The sky is undergoing a reset, and so are you. Don't interrupt the download by pushing your own agenda into a space that's meant for listening. If you try to force your desires into the universe right now, you risk anchoring yourself to the very chaos you're trying to escape. Let the light return before you speak your wishes. And if you're already feeling that internal pressure, the impulse to do something, that's the eclipse stirring your spirit. Don't confuse that urgency with a call to act. It's a call to pay attention. The ones who stay still during the quake are the ones who walk away clear. So ask yourself this: are you here to control the storm? Or are you wise enough to ride it in silence? What comes next could change everything, but only if you stay out of your own way. Number 2, don't make major life decisions. You might feel it right now, that urge to do something drastic, to burn the bridge, quit the job, walk away, book the one-way ticket, and start over. But pause, please. Not because your feelings aren't valid, but because what you're seeing isn't the full truth. During a solar eclipse, clarity is warped. It's like trying to navigate through a funhouse mirror maze. Things look real, intense, urgent, but what you're reacting to might not be what's actually there. Emotions run high, triggers explode, and the eclipse energy stirs deep, buried tension to the surface, not so you can act on it, but so you can see it. You might think you've reached the final straw, that you're done. But eclipses don't ask you to make final decisions. They ask you to witness what's been hiding in the dark. It's a time for revealing, not reacting. Think of it like this. Would you build a house during a lightning storm? Of course not. You'd wait for the sky to clear, to see where the foundation really is. The same goes for your life choices. The eclipse will pass. The dust will settle. And if your decision still feels right after that, that's when you act. But if you leap too soon, you could end up regretting a decision you made in a moment of distortion. Trust this. What's meant to leave will still be gone when the energy clears. What's meant to stay will stay. But right now, let the storm pass. Let the truth reveal itself without you trying to force it. Because once a decision is made, some things can't be undone. And this eclipse is not asking you to act. It's asking you to see. Number 3, don't charge crystals or set spiritual tools out. It's tempting, right? The sky goes dark, the energy feels electric, and your first instinct might be to lay out your crystals, cleanse your decks, or charge your tools under the eclipse. But here's the truth no one talks about. Eclipse energy isn't clean. It's chaotic. Unlike the soothing, clarifying light of a full moon, or the fertile silence of a new moon, an eclipse doesn't offer clarity. It distorts it. The energy that pours through during an eclipse is wild, unpredictable, and deeply karmic. It's not something you want your spiritual tools absorbing. Think of eclipse energy like a radio full of static and broken signals. Would you record a sacred message in that noise? Would you store water in a polluted stream? That's exactly what happens when you expose your crystals, tarot decks, or sacred objects to eclipse energy. They take on that confusion, that distortion, that unsettled vibration. Your spiritual tools are like sponges. They absorb whatever environment they're in. And if you charge them during an eclipse, you're not supercharging them. You're contaminating them. You're asking them to hold chaotic, unstable energy that can linger long after the eclipse ends. Instead, let them rest. Store them somewhere safe, away from direct eclipse light. This is a time for quiet reflection, not energetic absorption. Cleanse your tools after the eclipse, once the energy has recalibrated. Give them space to breathe. Give yourself space to breathe. The eclipse is here to stir shadows and reveal hidden truths, not to empower your tools. Let it do its job, while your sacred items stay shielded and untouched. Because what they hold tomorrow should be pure intention, not the echo of cosmic turbulence. Number 4, don't ignore your body's signals. You might be feeling it already. Your heart racing for no reason, sleep patterns shifting, a strange heaviness in your chest, or bursts of energy that come out of nowhere. That's not random. It's not just stress. That's your body picking up on the eclipse before your mind can even process it. The body is ancient. It remembers things your conscious mind has forgotten. Long before calendars or star charts, humans knew something was coming by how they felt. The aches, the jitters, the sense that something unseen is pressing in. All of it is real. This isn't just biology, it's energy. During an eclipse, the atmosphere is charged. It's like a storm building in slow motion, electrical, tense, waiting to break. And your nervous system feels it. So if you're feeling tired but wired, if your emotions are swinging, or if your body just feels off, don't push through it. Don't drown it in caffeine. Don't numb it with scrolling or food or distraction. Listen. Your body is talking. It's giving you a sacred alert. It's saying, slow down. Something big is shifting. This is the time to rest more, not less. To ground, to breathe, to get sunlight in the morning and silence in the evening. Don't schedule high-stress activities if you can avoid them. Protect your energy like it's gold, because right now, it is. Eclipses pull things out of us, old memories, buried emotions, physical tension. That's how transformation begins. But if you ignore those signals, you miss the chance to release what your body is trying to let go of. So tune in. Be gentle with yourself. Let your body lead. Because in times like this, your body is the only compass that won't lie. Number 5, don't engage in conflict. If tensions are rising, if someone snaps at you out of nowhere, or if old wounds suddenly come bubbling to the surface, don't take the bait. That's eclipse energy working its way through the cracks, looking for somewhere to explode. And if you're not careful, you might become the outlet. Eclipses are emotional earthquakes. They dig up what's been buried, hidden, or suppressed, especially in relationships. People become more sensitive, more reactive, more likely to misread your words or project their own pain onto you. A simple disagreement can spiral into a full-blown war. And once it's said, it can't be unsaid. It's like walking through a dry forest with a lit match. One spark, and the whole thing can go up in flames. This is not the time to prove a point, not the time to win an argument. In fact, silence may be your most powerful move right now. Not silence as in avoidance, but silence as in mastery, choosing peace over pride, choosing energy protection over emotional reaction. If someone lashes out, pause, breathe, ask yourself, is this eclipse energy talking through them? Most likely yes. The eclipse doesn't just shake the sky, it shakes people's emotional foundations, and when the ground trembles, people lash out without even knowing why. So instead of reacting, observe, watch what rises, see what your triggers are trying to teach you. But don't engage in battle. Remember, your energy is sacred. Don't let it be dragged through drama that won't matter in a week. Walk away when you can. Protect your peace like it's your only armor. Because during eclipse season it might be. And once the storm passes, you'll be glad you didn't feed the fire. Number 6. Don't overexpose yourself to screens or social media. It might seem harmless. Just scrolling for a few minutes catching up on what everyone else is doing. But during an eclipse window, social media becomes a chaos amplifier. Everyone's energy is stirred up. People are reacting, projecting, spiraling, and often without even realizing it. What you see online isn't clarity, it's confusion dressed up as content. Think of it like spiritual junk food. It might feel good in the moment, but it leaves you energetically drained, overstimulated, and disconnected from your own truth. Eclipses are powerful portals of self-awareness, but only if you go inward, not outward. Your nervous system is already working overtime during this time. Don't overload it with noise, opinions, and artificial energy. Instead, unplug, journal, breathe, be in nature. Listen to your thoughts without outside interference. There's a sacred kind of wisdom that only comes in silence. And if you're constantly looking at someone else's story, you'll miss the message being whispered into your own. The eclipse is trying to speak to you, but it won't scream over a TikTok reel. So take the hint, log off, go inward. That's where the real clarity is waiting. Number 7, don't try to control outcomes. During an eclipse, the universe isn't asking for your permission. It's making moves with or without you. This is a time of cosmic course correction. And if you try to grip tighter, plan harder, or force a certain outcome, you're just setting yourself up for frustration, or worse, heartbreak. It's like trying to swim against a rip current. The more you fight it, the more exhausted and lost you become. But if you surrender and float, the current eventually brings you back to shore. Let go or be dragged. What's falling apart right now? It's meant to. What's delayed? There's a reason. And what's coming into your life? It's already on its way, even if you can't see it yet. Trying to micromanage the details during eclipse energy is like rearranging furniture in a house that's still under demolition. You don't have the full blueprint yet. Instead, take a breath. Trust the process. Release your white-knuckled grip on the how and the when. Because when you surrender to the flow of the eclipse, you allow space for something greater to unfold. Something your logical mind couldn't have planned, but your soul has been waiting for. Number 8. Don't pretend. Nothing is happening. The worst thing you can do during an eclipse: act like it's just another ordinary week. It's not. Even if you're not into astrology, even if you've never looked at a birth chart or followed the phases of the moon, this still affects you. Eclipses shake the unseen layers of life. They stir emotion, disrupt patterns, and crack open truths we've been avoiding. And pretending nothing's happening. That's like ignoring a tidal wave because the sky looks clear. You might feel it in your sleep, in your moods, in the way old memories suddenly surface. You might find relationships shifting, paths redirecting, or certain things just falling away. That's not coincidence. That's the eclipse in motion. Awareness is your shield. When you acknowledge that something bigger is at play, you give yourself space to move with intention instead of being blindsided. So don't tune it out. Don't distract yourself to death. Don't downplay what your soul already knows. Stay awake. Pay attention. Observe what's rising, what's falling, and what's being rewritten beneath the surface, because something is happening. And the ones who pretend it's not, they're the ones caught off guard when everything changes. So as we wrap this up, remember, this eclipse isn't just a sky show. It's a spiritual shake-up, a reset, a warning, and a gift all in one. What you don't do is just as important as what you do. Protect your energy, stay awake, and don't sleepwalk through something this powerful. If this message hit home, like this video, subscribe for more cosmic updates, and drop the number 77 in the comments, so I know you're one of the aware ones. Let's help this reach the people who need to see it before the eclipse changes everything.